And he's back! So I am clearly not in Vancouver because he's here.
Yeah.
So this is before and after for When Sun Meets Moon.
Yes.
Whatever that is in Chinese.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Teen coming of age love story, puppy love. Can one say Taiwan-esque? Taiwanesely?
You can. I can't.
Taiwanish? I don't know. But yeah, that would be my guess.
Cool. So it's like what? A 1992 film, two kids fall in love, then life happens and they're separated.
Something. I don't know, really.
I wonder if one of them was gonna die.
Well, eventually. I mean, I don't know if that's in the movie, but yeah.
It's like in the synopsis, it's like, when sun departs. I was like, so, like departing from life? Or from...
Yeah, it's very possible.
So yeah, anything else you want to add?
This director, his earlier work, I believe it was Wong Ngai-Lun. I don't remember it and I didn't look it up. Benny Lau.
Yes.
But I like that movie.
Okay.
You know, these are the sort of movies that luckily Hong Kong is getting, I wouldn't say more of, but at least they're still here, which are very sort of small local films that are character driven, that are very localized in terms of the references and the setting and the stories. So I'm actually grateful whenever there's a movie like this, just because it still kind of helps preserve the tradition of a very local film.
Yeah. And my family actually wants to see this. I had a cousin who was like, oh, you're watching that film? Oh, I want to see that.
Yeah.
So that's a plus. Unlike Number One Street, where they're like, what? That movie exists?
Yeah.
Why?
That's a whole other story.
Yeah, so basically, I mean, I don't know the cast, so that's going to be great for me because I love watching movies that I don't have no expectations of acting.
Yeah, when you don't know the actor, it's easier to believe the character.
Yeah, so that's, I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, Taiwan-esque love story.
Somebody get back to us about that.
But yeah, those ones are always nice. Just don't be a soft fest and...
It's hard for me. I mean, I'm like 52 and divorced, so it's hard for me to watch 18-year-olds. Yeah, it's hard for me to watch 18-year-olds go, I love you forever, because I'm like, no, you won't.
That is really cringy.
Yeah, but
yeah, I look forward to, I mean, you wanted to see this, so... And it didn't look bad, so it's not one of those like I'm watching it so you don't have to type of films. So.
No, definitely not. But it's summertime in Hong Kong. They don't release a lot of movies because they don't want to try to compete with all the summer blockbuster things. So it tends to be a very sort of slow time for local films. And I'm glad this is still here. I'm glad that it's hanging in there.
I'm glad I get to catch another film. So this is the third film in a week, so that's always nice.
And we're in Langham Place.
Yes.
Which, typical of Hong Kong, the box office is on the ground floor, the cinema itself is on the 8th floor, because why not, right?
Yes, why not? Anyways, this is the before.
We'll see you soon.
This is after! Well, okay, here we go.
Look, Candy Wagon Lovely Shop.
We're very appropriate. Yes. Anyways, yeah, so that's that.
Yes, it's a movie for teenagers.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
They.
There was a lot of teenagers, but there were people older than you.
Yeah, luckily, I was definitely, I thought I was the oldest person in the cinema. Turns out I wasn't. I was definitely the whitest person in the cinema.
But not the palest.
Right. And I don't, like, at least this movie you knew that it was for teenagers, whereas, did you watch To the Fore, the Dante Lam Taiwanese bicycle movie?
No, I seen the trailer.
Like that, don't watch it. That movie wasn't marketed as a movie for teenagers, but it was one.
So the trailer felt like it was a biking film.
Exactly, and it's a teenage biking film.
Oh,
and again, there's nothing wrong with that if you tell us, hey, it's a teenage biking film. So this film, now it's the two things. Like you said, it's made for teenagers, but what about the adults in the film?
They were fun, great fun. Yeah. Every time they had screen time, I was like, hey, it's just because I feel like they're just enjoying themselves, and I think also the dialogue for them feels more authentic,
natural. Well, yeah,
and natural. And then sometimes, the delivery is more natural and authentic. Yes. But I felt like some of like the kids' lines were kind of like dialogue. I'm reading a script.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, partially that's age and experience, and we're talking about Lawrence Cheng, Maggie Siu, Mark Loy, and I don't know Miss Lowe. I don't know her name.
She looks familiar.
She looks a little familiar, but not very much. But yeah, that and the gatekeeper, the gardener guy, the janitor, he was funny. So one of the things that we both said, and probably I appreciate more than you, was at least when the old people were on screen, I felt like I could connect to someone in the film. Yeah. And it's a teenager movie. It's not really breaking any new ground, but it's well done. Yeah. It's interesting.
Breaking new ground in a sense where, like, if current day audience watch it, then they can sort of understand, what you have in terms of like, technology, smartphones and tech. I mean, like, waiting for a pager to reply, phoning someone to tell them this is what you're supposed to say, and they'll repeat it exactly. But you're like, no, you have to correct them. Yeah. Or I love the line where he's like, oh, ask ask how she's feeling, but make it sound more lovely.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
That.
Yeah.
I never experienced that. I mean, I've seen the huge cell phones,
Yes.
but I never used the pager system. Did you?
No, I never did.
Overall, it's a little bit heavy-handed on the thematic side,
Right.
love story. Like, in the end, you figure out that everyone's dealing with the same exact long-distance problem. That was kind of like, that's a bit too much. Because you got the mom, the husband ditches, and you got the teacher who's like, 7 years long-term.
And the father.
Yeah, father.
And the father.
And the father on the other side,
yeah.
And then you have
Lawrence.
Lawrence, Uncle Ming, who's like also long-distance. And I'm like, everyone's doing long-distance. But I guess in the 90s that was the thing to do, maybe.
Yes, actually, that's well.
Because people were leaving.
For the teacher, yes, that would be the thing that there were, because 7 years. Think about 7 years, he could establish citizenship. So yeah, in the early 90s there was a lot of that. But some of those people it had happened to earlier, but we're not going to say that. But yes, I think definitely they do a good job because I'm sure they didn't have a huge budget. I think they did a good job with recreating the atmosphere and the environment. Like I kept kind of laughing. Lawrence Cheng runs like a stationery shop, but they had, especially back then, was popular. You would buy pictures of like movie stars, and the pictures of like Andy Lau from 1992, so he's really young, and it's funny to see that because we've gotten so used to him 20-something years later.
Well, I mean, like they still do that now, but it's just with Korean stars.
Don't get me started.
Like speaking of budget, I feel like this, like the narrative vehicle, if it was like a TV series, it had everything. I think everything could have been expanded and a lot stronger. Yeah. So this is a very like surfacey type of teenage romance film. Yeah. Like it's not like an artsy sort of like, oh wow.
No, because I think it's for teenagers. Yeah. So like you said, it's heavy-handed, but that's, you know.
Yeah, because I definitely wish that there was more school stuff. Like his roommates were hilarious and they were really fun.
They were funny, and of course it was like he's the young rebel, but then suddenly he just decides, oh look, a telescope, I'm a good student.
Rally up the troops and be the best person there is.
Yes.
And also another thing, the teacher also reminded me of like the Japanese teacher trope, like GTO type of style, where like I don't really teach, but I'm a teacher, but I'm gonna care about your life 100% because love is real.
Wilfred Lau is funny. The Wilfred Lau cameo, the substitute teacher. I'm your substitute. Self-study.
Yeah, is that a real thing?
I guess, I don't know.
That sounds nice because we never had self-study in Vancouver. It was just like, hey, I'm a substitute. We're still doing things that your teacher wants us to do. The other female cast.
Yeah, Hedwig Tam.
Yeah, like she was totally there but not.
Like you said, there's probably a lot of scenes that they just cut out.
Yeah, because they're probably like time. I mean, this is a 97-minute film, so I feel like it could have been
a little longer.
But I mean, pacing-wise, they would have definitely had to fix a lot of things to make it faster.
Yeah.
And I felt, so I feel like I hope that all the stuff that she filmed was actually just edited out rather than we never wrote anything for her to film, because it's just like, how do you build that chemistry when she just shows up? Literally, she shows up in each scene and doesn't do anything.
Right. I mean, obviously, it's about the sun meets moon, and then when the guy goes away to boarding school, of course there's another girl, because in these movies there's always another girl. Yeah. But they don't ever develop it. It's just that you look at her and go, oh, it's an actress I recognize, and she's a girl, therefore she must be the other girl.
Yeah. And there's like snippets of like, oh, it's gonna happen. That narrative line, but it never does.
Because she, the occasional shot of her looking at him. Well, of course we know it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But they don't ever sell it really.
So I'm okay with that, I guess.
Yeah.
And there's gonna be a sequel because
maybe, I don't know.
It's gonna be a new universe of
something like that. Yeah, they'll get married and fight and get a divorce.
Yeah. That'll be for the 5th movie. Anyways, so this is it. Sun meets moon. Good. Okay, I don't know.
It's okay. It's a good movie for teenagers, which is all it was really trying to be.
You want a break from summer blockbusters or what have you? Just check this out.
And
support some.
Like I said, look, it's an Emperor Group film, and the main character is a teenage girl, and it's not Charlene Choi. So let's all take a moment and be grateful.
I know. Thank you. Thank you for not finding her. Anyway, that's it. This is the before and after for Sun Meets Moon.